The thermometer outside Vera Nikolaevna's wooden cabin reads minus 58 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, exposed skin freezes in less than 2 minutes. Breath turns to ice crystals before it leaves your mouth. Metal becomes so brittle it can shatter like glass. This is Yakutia in January, and for 82-year-old Vera, this is just another Tuesday. People ask me why I don't move to the city, Vera says, her weathered hands expertly splitting firewood with an axe that weighs nearly as much as she does. But this is my home. I was born here 82 years ago, and I will die here. The cold doesn't scare me anymore. It's like an old friend. Vera lives completely off-grid, in a remote area of the Sakha Republic, also known as Yakutia, in northeastern Siberia. The nearest village is 47 kilometers away, through frozen taiga forest. She has no electricity, no running water, no internet, and no neighbors within a day's walk. Her only companions are her 3 dogs, a small herd of reindeer, and the occasional wolf pack that circles her property at night. Morning routine in the coldest inhabited place on Earth. Vera's day begins at 4:30 a.m., long before the weak winter sun makes its brief appearance. The first task is always the same: restart the fire. During the night, she wakes every 2 hours to add wood to the stove. If the fire goes out completely, the temperature inside the cabin can drop to minus 40 within an hour. At that point, survival becomes a race against time. You learn to sleep light, she explains, stirring a pot of pine needle tea on her wood stove. Your body knows when the fire is dying. It's instinct now. After the fire is roaring again, Vera dresses in layers: wool underwear, 2 pairs of thick socks, felt boots called valenki, wool pants, a heavy sweater, a fur-lined coat made from reindeer hide, a fur hat with ear flaps, and mittens lined with dog fur. Even fully dressed, she can only stay outside for about 30 minutes before needing to warm up. Her first outdoor task is checking on the reindeer. These animals are not just livestock, they are her lifeline. They provide meat, milk, hide for clothing, and bones for tools. In return, Vera protects them from wolves and ensures they have access to lichen beneath the snow. The reindeer know the weather better than any forecast, Vera says, watching the herd paw through the snow. When they huddle close together and face the same direction, a blizzard is coming. They've never been wrong. The hunt for water. One of the greatest challenges of winter survival in Yakutia is water. Rivers and lakes freeze solid, sometimes to depths of 3 meters. Vera must walk 200 meters to a spot where a natural spring keeps a small hole in the ice open year-round. She carries 2 metal buckets on a wooden yoke across her shoulders, a technique she learned from her grandmother. The journey to the water hole is treacherous. The path winds through dense forest where wolves leave tracks in the snow. Vera carries a long wooden staff with a metal tip, both for balance and defense. I've encountered wolves 4 times this winter, she says matter-of-factly. They usually keep their distance if you make yourself big and loud. But a hungry wolf is unpredictable. That's why I always bring the dogs. Her 3 dogs, mixed breeds descended from Yakutian Lykas, are trained to alert her to danger. Their thick double coats and fierce loyalty make them perfect companions in this harsh environment. The water she collects freezes within minutes of being exposed to air. By the time she returns to the cabin, ice crystals have formed on the surface. She must melt snow and ice constantly to have enough water for drinking, cooking, and washing. Food in the frozen wasteland. Vera's diet would shock most modern nutritionists, but it's perfectly adapted to extreme cold. She consumes between 3,500 and 4,000 calories per day, mostly from fat and protein. Her staples include stroganina, raw frozen fish sliced paper thin and eaten with salt, reindeer meat, both fresh and dried, fermented mare's milk called kumis, pine needle tea rich in vitamin C, berries preserved in permafrost, rendered animal fat eaten by the spoonful. Fat is life here, Vera explains, cutting thick slices of frozen reindeer fat. It keeps you warm from the inside. Vegetables? They don't grow here. We eat what the land provides. Her root cellar, dug deep into the permafrost, maintains a constant temperature of -5 degrees Celsius year-round. It's nature's freezer, preserving meat and fish for months without spoiling. Inside, she stores the results of autumn hunting: fish from the river, wild game, and preserved berries. Twice a year, in late spring and early autumn, a trader from the village makes the journey to her cabin on horseback, bringing salt, tea, flour, and other essentials. In exchange, Vera trades reindeer hides and handmade fur clothing. The wolves at the door. As darkness falls around 3 p.m., winter days in Yakutia last only 3 to 4 hours, Vera secures her property. The reindeer are herded into a reinforced pen made from thick logs. The dogs are brought inside. Every door and window is checked and double-checked. The wolves come almost every night now, she says, peering through a gap in the wooden shutters. They're hungry. The winter has been hard and prey is scarce. They know the reindeer are here. Sure enough, as the temperature drops to -60, the howling begins. It starts distant, then grows closer. Vera's dogs growl low in their throats, hackles raised. She grabs her rifle, an ancient bolt-action weapon that belonged to her father, and steps onto the porch. In the beam of her kerosene lantern, she can see them. 6 wolves, their eyes reflecting green in the light. They circle the reindeer pen, testing for weaknesses. The largest, a gray male that Vera has named Scar because of a mark across his muzzle, approaches within 20 meters. Vera fires the shot into the air. The crack echoes through the frozen forest. The wolves scatter but don't go far. They'll be back. I don't want to kill them, she says, reloading. They're just trying to survive like me, but I will protect what's mine. She spends the next 2 hours on watch, adding wood to an outdoor fire to keep the wolves at bay. Finally, near midnight, they give up and disappear into the darkness. Wisdom of the Elders. Vera is not unique in Yakutia. Scattered across this vast frozen territory are dozens of elderly people living in similar conditions, maintaining a way of life that has existed for thousands of years. They are the keepers of ancient knowledge, skills that cannot be learned from books or YouTube videos. Young people today, they don't know how to read the snow, Vera says. They don't know which ice is safe to walk on, which plants can save your life, how to navigate by stars when everything is white. This knowledge dies with us. She can predict weather by observing animal behavior, the color of the sunset, and the way smoke rises from her chimney. She knows which tree bark can be eaten in emergencies, how to treat frostbite with rendered fat and herbs, and how to build a shelter that can withstand hurricane-force winds. My grandmother taught me everything, Vera recalls, her eyes distant. She lived to 96, never left this area. She survived the famine, the war, the Soviet times. She was strong like the land. The question of leaving. Vera's children, she has 3, all living in cities thousands of kilometers away, beg her every year to move. They offer her a warm apartment, modern conveniences, and medical care. She refuses every time. What would I do in a city, she asks. Sit in a box and wait to die? Here I have purpose. The reindeer need me. The land needs me. I need them. There's also a practical consideration. Vera has lived her entire life at extreme temperatures. Her body has adapted in ways that scientists are only beginning to understand. Her metabolism, circulation, and even her cellular structure have changed. Moving to a warmer climate could actually be dangerous for her health. I tried visiting my daughter in Moscow once, she remembers. It was autumn, maybe 10 degrees. I thought I would die from the heat. I couldn't breathe. I came home after 3 days. A life measured in winters. As our conversation ends and I prepare to make the long journey back to civilization, Vera is already thinking about tomorrow's tasks. Checking the trap line for Arctic fox, repairing the tear in the reindeer pen, gathering more firewood. How many winters do I have left, she muses. Maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe this is my last. But I will spend it here, doing what I've always done. This is not survival to me. This is life. As I trudge through the snow toward the waiting snowmobile, I look back one last time. Vera stands in the doorway of her cabin, silhouetted against the warm glow of the fire inside, a tiny figure against the vast frozen wilderness. She raises one mittened hand in farewell, then disappears inside. The temperature is dropping again, -62 now. The wolves will return tonight. But Vera Nikolaevna will be ready. She always is.